Ever felt that persistent whisper, that deep-seated sense that there's something else waiting for you?
Hmm.
Or maybe, you found yourself unexpectedly at a crossroads, wondering how you even got there.
Yeah, that feeling is pretty common, I think.
You are absolutely not alone. Change is truly the only constant, yet it's also our most profound catalyst for growth. This deep dive isn't just about, weathering life's transitions.
Right.
It's about actively embracing them as opportunities. We're going to explore the mental, emotional, and practical wisdom from psychology, health, personal development, basically equipping you to not just navigate, but really thrive through transitions and step into what's genuinely possible.
It's quite a paradox, isn't it? As humans, we have this inherent comfort in routine, in predictability.
Definitely.
We tend to cling to the familiar, sometimes even when it's, well, clearly stopped serving us.
Yeah.
It's like trying to navigate a whole new city with an old, outdated map. You might feel safe holding on to it, but it won't actually get you where you need to go.
And there's such a powerful pull to those comfort zones, isn't there? Even when they're maybe incredibly restrictive. That safety of the known is just hard to let go of sometimes.
It really is, and this highlights that profound psychological tension. Change is hard, yes, but often staying exactly where you are, feeling stuck, that can be far more unsettling, even, debilitating in the long run.
That makes sense.
What's truly remarkable, though, is our immense human capacity to adapt, to learn, and to continually redefine ourselves.
So true.
Precisely. Real safety doesn't come from avoiding change, but from that deep-seated knowledge that we can shift, we can reimagine, we can adapt. Just think about all the versions of yourself that have already existed,
Right.
the ways you've adapted, learned, evolved over time. The power of reinvention really challenges us to release that grip on the familiar and intentionally step into something greater, making space for new opportunities and new ways of being.
Okay, so how do we recognize that crucial moment then, when we actually need to change? It's often not like a dramatic earthquake hitting, is it?
No, right?
It seems like it's more often a series of, subtle nudges, these quiet signals telling us it's time to shift course. What are some of those indicators we should be paying attention to?
You're absolutely right. It's rarely some sudden revelation. It might be a persistent habit that's keeping you stuck,
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a career path that just doesn't resonate anymore with your core values.
Yeah, that misalignment feeling.
Exactly. Sometimes it's an unhelpful belief you've held about yourself for ages, perhaps something shaped by external voices that, frankly, you've now outgrown. These moments of realization, while they can feel unsettling, are actually really powerful invitations. They're opening the door to profound possibility.
Okay.
And this leads us right into a foundational mental shift that makes all the difference. Understanding the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset.
Ah, yes. This is key.
It really is. This distinction radically alters how we approach pretty much every challenge and opportunity in our lives. With a fixed mindset, you basically believe your abilities and intelligence are static, they're predetermined.
Set in stone.
Right. And this tends to lead to avoiding challenges, a real fear of failure, and that fosters stagnation. I mean, if every mistake feels like a definitive judgment on your inherent capability, why would you ever risk trying something new?
That makes so much sense. It's all about protecting that perceived static ability. But a growth mindset, because that's a completely different lens, isn't it?
Totally different.
It's viewing your abilities as something you can develop, expand, master through dedication, through hard work. Challenges aren't roadblocks. They're actually opportunities for learning.
Exactly. Opportunities. This perspective fuels persistence even when you're facing significant setbacks.
Okay.
So the big question then becomes, how do we cultivate such a resilient outlook?
Ah.
Well, there are some really compelling figures who embody this beautifully.
Michael Jordan immediately comes to mind as someone who just exemplified this. How does his story really bring the growth mindset to life?
Michael Jordan, yeah. Widely considered one of the greatest basketball players ever, right? He was famously cut from his high school basketball team.
I remember that story.
He could have easily viewed that as a definitive statement about his inherent ability, like, okay, I'm just not good enough.
Right. End of story.
Instead, he saw it as fuel. He used that setback as motivation, transforming it into an opportunity for relentless, deliberate practice and continuous improvement. His story isn't just about raw talent. It's about a profound commitment to personal evolution, turning a perceived failure into a stepping stone for, well, unparalleled success.
Incredible. And it's not just in sports, is it? What about someone like Walt Disney?
Oh, Walt Disney, another great example. A creative visionary who faced countless rejections. He was even fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination.
Wow, the irony.
Right. He had multiple business ventures that ended in bankruptcy. But his growth mindset allowed him to interpret these failures not as definitive endpoints, but as crucial learning experiences. His persistence, his innovative thinking, despite huge adversity, ultimately led to Disneyland, Mickey Mouse, all of it. He just didn't let those initial rejections define his ultimate potential.
And it's not just individuals either. I think you mentioned organizational examples too. Google's 20% time policy comes to mind. How did that work?
Right. Google's policy allowed employees to dedicate 20% of their work week to projects of their own choosing. Crucially, even if those projects might ultimately fail.
Okay, so failure was baked in as a possibility.
Exactly. This organizational culture, embracing experimentation and the potential for failure, truly fostered a growth mindset across the company. It's probably no coincidence that this environment led to groundbreaking products like Gmail and Google News. It really demonstrates the power of allowing creativity to flourish by embracing and learning from missteps rather than, punishing them. And one more powerful example, Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group. His journey is just filled with entrepreneurial failures and personal challenges.
He's had a few bumps, yeah.
Definitely. Yet his commitment to personal growth and continuous learning has consistently driven his success. His willingness to take calculated risks, learn from every mistake, pivot towards new opportunities that allowed him to build this diverse global empire. His story powerfully illustrates how a growth mindset can cultivate a deep sense of purpose, leading to both immense professional achievement and, importantly, personal fulfillment.
These examples really illustrate how this mindset manifests in the real world.
Yeah.
And speaking of purpose, you also mentioned connecting this growth mindset to a deeper sense of meaning through the Japanese concept of ikigai. How does ikigai help us define our North Star?
Ikigai. It's often translated as a reason for being. It's a really profound framework. Usually it's shown as a Venn diagram with 4 intersecting circles: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for.
Okay, I've seen that diagram.
Yeah, the true sweet spot, where all 4 overlap, that's your ikigai. This concept helps you define your North Star by emphasizing the alignment of your life and career with your authentic self. It really focuses on fulfillment and positive impact, not just solely on monetary gain or, social status.
What's fascinating there is how it clarifies that subtle trap of burnout. We often assume burnout comes from doing work you're, bad at. But the Ikigai framework suggests it often comes from doing draining work you're actually good at, but work that doesn't align with what truly energizes you.
Exactly. It underscores the critical importance of aligning your skills with what genuinely fulfills you, not just what you happen to excel at.
Okay, so we get the mindset, we've seen the examples. Now let's unpack the how-to. How do we actually take these powerful insights and translate them into actionable strategies for navigating life's inevitable transitions and challenges?
Right, the practical steps. Well, the path forward is pretty holistic, blending those psychological insights with practical, actionable steps. First, it really requires a period of deep inward reflection. Looking inwards.
Yeah. Take the time to genuinely evaluate your current reality against your deepest aspirations. How do your daily actions actually line up with your core values? This self-awareness, approached with compassion, not judgment, creates the fertile ground for genuine growth.
That self-awareness piece feels absolutely foundational. Understand your internal compass before you try to navigate the external changes.
Exactly. Next, a truly transformative step is to consciously reframe your identity. We often get stuck in old narratives and cling really tightly to identities we've simply outgrown. True transformation requires us to actively shift how we perceive ourselves. For instance, you mentioned Dr. Nina Ahuja earlier, a surgeon who made a profound shift in her career to focus on leadership education for medical professionals.
Right.
This meant stepping into the identity of an educator and founder, which was, liberating, but also stressful. It challenged her previous identity as solely a surgeon. It wasn't just what she did that changed, but who she became in the process. That's a powerful shift in perspective. It's about consciously evolving your internal blueprint.
Yeah.
So once you have that new identity kind of in mind, what are the next practical steps?
Well, then you need to build supportive, intentional habits. Reinvention isn't about one massive, dramatic overhaul. It's really a cumulative process of small, consistent actions.
Steps.
Tiny steps. If you aspire to write a book, maybe commit to writing for just 10-15 minutes a day. If you want to be more present with your family, set clear boundaries around work hours, or, put your phone away during meals, it's about embodying the mindset and behaviors of the evolved version of yourself you're working toward, day by day.
Okay.
Now, as you embark on these new paths, you'll inevitably encounter internal resistance, that inner critic.
Oh, yeah, that voice.
Exactly. So it's vital to learn to quiet your inner critic. Recognize that self-doubt and fear are often just echoes of past voices or limiting beliefs. They're not necessarily your own true voice. Growth inherently involves discomfort, and learning to lean into that discomfort is where real transformation happens.
Right.
Equally important is to find your support system. Surround yourself with people who genuinely believe in you, who will cheer you on, offer honest feedback when needed, and provide that vital anchor as you navigate the inevitable ups and downs of change.
That inner critic can be incredibly loud, can't it? So challenging those limiting beliefs and seeking out external cheerleaders. That sounds crucial. What else supports a successful transition, especially a significant one?
Well, from a practical standpoint, particularly for big shifts like career transitions, strategic preparedness and flexible execution are pretty paramount. Drawing again from Dr. Ahuja's experience, financial awareness provides a clearer mindset, less panic.
Makes sense, having a buffer.
Right. And crucially, testing new ideas with proof of concept pilot programs helps build confidence, it mitigates risk, and it confirms if there's real-world demand for your new endeavor. You need to gather data and learn as you go.
So not just jumping in blind.
No, definitely not. This requires adaptability and humility. Embrace a flexible mindset, focusing on consistent progress over some unattainable idea of perfection. Be humble enough to learn new skills, even if they feel really uncomfortable, like, a seasoned surgeon needing to learn marketing from scratch.
Yeah, that takes humility.
It does. Your perseverance built on your existing expertise, but combined with that humility, that will be key. And finally, throughout this entire journey, authenticity is paramount. Stay connected to your true self, your core values, your purpose. While new lessons and experiences will undoubtedly change you, by maintaining alignment with your authentic self, an evolved and more aligned version of you will naturally emerge.
That's a really comprehensive roadmap for intentional change. But even with all these great strategies, transitions can still be incredibly stressful. So how do we ensure we're also building broader well-being and resilience into our lives to sustain ourselves through these periods?
That's a critical point. Stress management is huge. One helpful framework is the 4 A's of stress management: avoid, alter, adapt, and accept.
Okay, the 4 A's.
First, avoid unnecessary stress where you can. This means learning to say no to non-essential commitments, maybe consciously limiting time with people who drain your energy.
Setting boundaries.
Exactly. Taking control of your environment where possible, and actively paring down your to-do list to differentiate between the shoulds and the musts.
Right. So being proactive, setting those boundaries. Don't let your plate get piled too high with things that don't truly serve your growth or energy.
Precisely. Next, if you can't avoid a stressful situation entirely, try to alter it. This might mean expressing your feelings instead of bottling them up, being willing to compromise, being more assertive about your needs, and actively finding balance between work and play to prevent burnout.
And what if the situation itself just can't be altered?
Then you move to adapt. Adapt to the stressor by changing yourself. Reframe problems by looking at them from a more positive, empowering perspective, perhaps. Step back and look at the big picture, like, will this truly matter in a month or a year?
Get some perspective.
Yes. Adjust your standards, let go of perfectionism sometimes, and crucially, practice gratitude. It fundamentally shifts your perspective and helps keep things in check when stress threatens to overwhelm you.
And for those moments that are truly beyond our control,
then you accept them. Some sources of stress, like, sadly, the death of a loved one or a serious illness, are just unavoidable. The wisdom here is to release the need to control the uncontrollable.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, definitely. Instead, focus your energy on how you choose to react. Look for the potential upside or the lessons within challenges, viewing them as opportunities for personal growth, however difficult. Learn to forgive, letting go of anger and resentments, and critically share your feelings. Expressing what you're going through can be incredibly cathartic and helps build resilience.
Okay, so beyond managing stress as it arises, what about some proactive well-being strategies, things we can weave into our daily lives to foster enduring resilience, especially when navigating change?
Ah, yes, the proactive stuff. Well, A critical one is to optimize your physical resilience. For instance, research shows that physical activity, especially rhythmic movements like walking, dancing, cycling,
Things that get you moving.
yes, they not only release endorphins, but can literally help repattern neural pathways, making your brain more adaptable to new situations and less prone to looping on stress during transitions. It's not just about feeling good, it's about building a more flexible brain capable of navigating novelty.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Brain flexibility.
Another vital component is strategic time management. Poor time management often just escalates stress. So don't overcommit yourself. Prioritize tasks by their impact. Break down large projects into smaller, manageable steps. And remember, delegation isn't a weakness, it's a strategic strength. You don't have to carry the entire load yourself.
That last one is often the hardest, isn't it?
What?
Letting go of that control. What about our social connections, especially during periods of flux?
It's so important. Connect with others. Face-to-face interaction is one of nature's most potent stress relievers. It actually triggers a cascade of hormones that literally counteract the body's defensive fight-or-flight response.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a powerful buffer against depression and anxiety. Build a strong, reliable support network by actively reaching out to colleagues, friends, or even joining a community group. These connections fundamentally strengthen your emotional and psychological resilience.
And beyond the practicalities, what about just finding joy and lightness during challenging transitions? It can feel heavy sometimes.
It absolutely can. So it's crucial to intentionally schedule time for fun and relaxation. Treat leisure time as non-negotiable. Seriously, put it in your calendar.
Like an appointment.
Exactly. Engage in something you genuinely enjoy every single day, even if it's small stargazing, listening to music, working on a hobby. Maintain your sense of humor, including the ability to laugh at yourself. That actually helps your body fight stress. Also, taking up a consistent relaxation practice like meditation, yoga, or deep breathing can activate your body's natural relaxation response, anchoring you amidst uncertainty. And finally, those foundational healthy lifestyle habits, they're just non-negotiable. Your ability to think clearly, regulate emotions, and sustain energy during change is directly tied to your physical well-being. Eat a balanced diet, be mindful of caffeine and sugar intake, and critically avoid self-medicating with alcohol or drugs, which offer only temporary, often detrimental relief.
All right, temporary fix.
Yeah. And most importantly, get enough quality sleep. Adequate rest directly fuels both your cognitive function and emotional regulation. Being tired significantly amplifies stress and makes everything harder.
These are such profound ways to empower yourself through change. And just to circle back to that idea of continuous self-discovery throughout this journey, what other mental strategies can help us sustain growth?
Right, keeping the momentum. Well, mindfulness and reflection are central here. Cultivate a daily gratitude practice. It consistently shifts your focus from challenges to opportunities. Actively seek out new experiences. They are powerful catalysts for fresh perspectives and skills that become invaluable during transitions.
Getting out of the rut.
Exactly. Regularly reflect on your personal growth, maybe through journaling. It helps you track your evolution and cultivate deep self-compassion. If you're feeling isolated, consider joining a support group or community. You get invaluable shared experiences and diverse perspectives. Read inspirational books on change and personal development. They offer great insights and strategies. And take time to learn from past change successes. Reflect on how you've successfully adapted before. Remind yourself of your inherent capabilities.
Remembering you've done it before.
Yes. Finally, set realistic yet inspiring goals. Break down large aspirations into manageable steps, track your progress, and crucially, remain flexible enough to adjust as you learn and grow. You know, if we connect all of this to the bigger picture, embracing adversity and change offers truly profound benefits. You gain a renewed appreciation for life. You enhance your personal strength in ways you probably never imagined.
Yeah.
You forge stronger, more meaningful relationships, and you might even experience deep spiritual growth. Most powerfully, perhaps, you begin recognizing entirely new paths for your life that you never even knew existed before.
What's truly compelling here, I think, is that it all comes back to cultivating a deep trust in ourselves, right? A belief in our innate ability to navigate the unknown. That trust becomes this mighty force, allowing us to step into the future with courage, leading us to something far greater and more aligned with who we're truly meant to be.
Well said.
So this deep dive has really revealed that embracing change isn't some one-time event, but it's a continuous journey of self-discovery and evolution. It's about cultivating a mindset that consistently sees possibility equipping yourself with practical, impactful tools and building the profound resilience necessary for whatever comes next.
Absolutely. And maybe as you reflect on this, consider not just what you are changing into, but who you are becoming in the process. What unexpected strengths or insights might you uncover in your very next transition, no matter how small it seems?
That's a great thought to leave with. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into embracing change as opportunity. We really hope you feel emboldened to take those bold steps towards a life that feels truly aligned and fulfilling for you.
And we look forward to our next exploration with you. Until then, keep growing.